to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a
time. Well, you just heard that sound, and what's that mean? It is the weekend. Time for another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. This is the Narrative Podcast, and I am your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome, all my narrators. Hope you had a fantastic week. Did you guys enjoy the birthday? Spend time with the family? And do, family type stuff? Hope you did. Oh, darn, I said hope again. Trying to really weed that out of my vocabulary, but hey, it takes a while. Some habits are hard to die. But anyway, for those that don't know, this is the Narrative Podcast. New to the platform, I just break it down, what the premise of my podcast is and what I do here on it. So let's start at the very top. What is the Narrative Podcast? Well, let's start with the word narrative. I designed this platform because I basically felt and feel like the media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. They do this with audio bites, sound bites, film, very divisive ways they talk about our community. They use little code words like underserved, high crime area of. Those are all signals of, where places where we reside at. In reality, crime is crime. No matter, in the Asian community, there's no Asian or Asian crime. When the Italian community, there's no Italian or Italian crime. Spanish community, it's no Spanish or Spanish crime. It's just crime. In the Caucasian community, it's no Caucasian or Caucasian crime. It's just crime. When it comes to our community, it's black on black crime. They also inflate the numbers. About our death tolls and violence, making look and seem like we're killing each other at disproportionate rates, when in fact it's no different than any other neighborhood. And we take the bait, we say, oh, we need to do better, and we do need to do better, and we got some house cleaning to do in our community. So let's not say that, but at the rate that they're portraying it at, no, that's totally inaccurate. So basically, the liberal media, general media portrays an inaccurate, paints a false, inaccurate narrative of original people and the original people culture. So on my platform, what I basically want to do is, set it right. Tell our stories from our perspectives on our own terms and conditions. I want to highlight and showcase us at our best instead of, always being portrayed as, dysfunctional, destitute, disenfranchised, toxic, amoral, financially lacking, lacking education, lacking resources. We have all types of excellence in our community, all type of people excelling at an excelsior level, giving back not only to our own community, but furthering humanity. So that's what I do on my platform, is just share stories like that. As a matter of fact, my tagline is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. Okay, so now I know you're listening. You keep on saying, well, why does he keep saying original? What does he mean by original? I say original in reference to our people because I recently had an epiphany about the word black. And in my findings, when I turned to the dictionary and saw the word black, first they started off by, going out of their way to denote African ancestry or African descent. And then when you go down the list, example words and example sentences, they're all negative. They all have a negative connotation, surrounding that. And I'm a firm believer in the power of words. I believe once you release a word out of your mouth, it becomes reality. It manifests. It bends and shapes reality. Words, are electric. They have a pulse. They're alive. They bend and shape reality. So you also, have to watch what you say and how you say it. The powers that be, where gave us the word black, was just people that did not look like us, because we did not refer to ourselves as black in early civilization. This is just something people that did not look like us started calling us. And when you go and look at our community as a whole, you will see all the negative things that the word infers to within our culture and our people, not just here in America, but globally as well. You will hear things like, you'll read things like when you read the definition of the word black in the dictionary, gloomy, dirty, destitute. Some dictionaries have not of God, depressed, and then just so on and so forth. But when you look at the word original in the dictionary, there's almost zero negative connotation, because original infers and implies the first. And the first usually is a signal to the best. The original copy is always the best copy. And our people was the original man and original woman of civilization. Was, and is the original people, original man and original woman of this humanity. There's not one corner of the globe that we didn't inhabit, that we didn't enlighten civilization, that we didn't teach and nurture. We taught people how to read. We taught people how to build things. We taught people how to live off the land. We taught people how to treat diseases with natural herbs and roots. We taught people about spirituality. We don't have a history of being warlike. We don't have a history of forcing our beliefs and value systems upon people. The people we came in contact came into our circumference. They came seeking us. They came seeking our knowledge. We never tried to, push agendas or make people believe what we believe. We never enslaved anybody. We never had people in bondage. And regardless of all unpopular claims, we had almost little to no involvement in the transatlantic slave trade. That's also a misnomer about our people. So on my platform, what I do is I tell the truth about our people and our culture. So I believe, original is a more befitting and suiting moniker to describe our people and our culture. And that's why I try to use it as often as possible on my platform. It's definitely not a self-hate thing. It's just a self-realization. I've realized that we were and are the original man and the original woman, and that carries like a heavy, responsibility. There's more power behind that word original as opposed to the word black, whereas black is often associated with death and dying and the end of all things. And we're anything but dying, and we're definitely anything and everything but the end. We are the beginning of civilization. We taught, we mothered and fathered civilization. We're the original inventors. We're the original architects. We're the original scholars. We're the original philosophers. We originated pretty much every modern day invention you can think of. So that's what I mean by original when I say original on my platform in reference to us, in reference to our people and our culture. All right. So my ultimate takeaway that I want my listeners to get from my content that I deliver is how important it is to share positive content on your platforms. That's why I call my core audience my narrators. Um, Basically, I believe we are all narrators to some small capacity, meaning we have the power to change the narrative by the content we post. Because these days, especially in the digital era that we live in, people judge you based on the content that you post online. They associate you with the content that you post online. So if we're always sharing gang culture, thought culture, violence, debauchery, dysfunction online, people that are outside of our culture are going to associate us with that type of content. So, it's up to each and every one of us to, share positive content as much as possible on all of our platforms about our people and our culture. Because history has taught us that if you do not, tell your own story, you'll have your story told for you. And the story being told about our people and our culture is a false and accurate one. It's intentionally done to, sell news, basically. They push agendas, propagate and promote the negative stereotypes. And, they just put out these false frames of reference about us. And people outside of our culture, they don't know us, they don't have any original people in their area. If all they're giving is, these negative frames of reference, that's all they're going to do is associate us with negativity. So, it's up to all of us to put something positive in the atmosphere about our people and our culture. Now, if they're just intolerant or just don't like original people, that's a different conversation. We can't enlighten somebody like that. They already got their mind made up. They don't like us. They feel what they feel and they believe what they want to, and they believe what they believe, which is their God-given right to do so. But what's not okay is to paint a false, inaccurate narrative of a specific group of people just because you don't like them. So most of it's done for profit to sell news. And then the other portion of it is, for fear that we will overtake the dominant society, people that, make billions and billions on these negative stereotypes. They don't want to be on equal financial footing with us. And when we strip and rip those negative stereotypes away from them, they won't have anything to, barter and use against us. Because it's all about, the manipulation of the masses. That's why the, media does that. They just warp and twist the minds of the people. And so on my podcast, what I wanted to attempt to try to do is just to set things right, even the playing field, and empower, uplift, and impact our people in a positive way. I don't ever try to, denigrate or down talk or drag a brother or sister through the mud. I don't tend to engage in any gossip, but I do address things if one of us is doing or saying something something that has us all looking and sounding crazy. But other than that, it's all positivity on the Narrative Podcast. So, getting underway, a couple of disclaimers before I dive into the content. Disclaimer number one, this is a monetized podcast. I'm recording right now. I never know when the ad rolls will pop up during my feed because I'm recording right now, so I don't even know what types of ads will occur while I'm broadcasting. It's a monetized platform, so the ads is one way I get paid. So just said all that to say, like, you might hear a commercial in mid-speech while I'm speaking, but don't just like scroll past. Just let the commercials play out. You're in for a really good experience. Yeah. Secondly, I try to, deliver my content in a time-efficient manner. My podcast is broken up into sections. Each section has a speaking points. I go over each section as I come to them, and I try to keep it, the entire broadcast packaged up nice and neatly for you. Try to not exceed 1 hour. And the purpose of me doing this is, for one, I'm not jumping all over the place. And then two, just to make my content more digestible so it'll resonate with you. And to prevent me from ranting, because when I first started this thing, I had no idea what I was doing. I used to just go in, and then I noticed something. I really wasn't hardly getting any listeners. And as soon as I broke it down into sections, I started seeing my numbers go up. So, timing is very key. I try to keep everything short, sweet, to the point, very concise and cohesive. So all my concepts, all my speaking points tie into the main concept of how important it is to share positive content, and how we are all narrators in some small capacity, and why it's essential that we share positive content in regards to our people and our culture. So now that you got the general gist, I'm going to dive right on into the content with my very first section. This is the promo section. In this section, what I'm doing is offering original people owned and operated businesses the opportunity to receive free promotion to promote their business via my platform, simply just by hitting me up for the free promotion. The idea behind that is to do my part to help circulate the original people dollar in the original people community. And, as one of my great anticipation, I attract people that, give back to the community that they're rooted in, hire their own, have some type of, vocational training program with whatever their business they have, give back to the community, either have their own nonprofit organization or pay into a nonprofit organization, or, supply the community with raw supplies of whatever they're selling with. So, so I'm going to dive in now to that. To receive the free promotion, just hit me up, Halsey Allen, at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. And in the subject bar, type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about your business, product, or service. Be specific as possible. The more specific you are about yourself and your business, the better promotion I can give you. Because consumers, they want to know specific details. They want to know your educational background. They want to know why you got into, the business of whatever you're doing. Like, why should they trust you? Why should they spend their money with you other than the fact, you're an original man or an original woman? So it's just, just give me the accurate details, and I can plug your business real nicely for you on my platform. And the kicker is it's 110% free. I'm not charging any money for it. Like I said, I'm just doing my parts to, help circulate the original people dollar and the original people community, so we can build our community nice and strong, and rely on ourselves and less on, outside forces and outside entities. All right, keeping it moving. On to my second section. I'm using the exact same email address. The way I'm separating the two sections is through the subject bar. This section is a promotional contest I'm running just for my podcast. It's called the Chew on This contest, and what I'm doing in this section is giving a bulk supply of the listener's favorite snack just by participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is share your most recent Shopping While Black experience. And to enter this contest, just hit me up again at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type chew on this / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you, Shopping While Black. If you don't want to type out the whole word Shopping While Black, just type SWB in all caps. In the body of the email, include your most recent Shopping While Black experience, your mailing address so I know where to send your prize to, and then, of course, what type of snack do you want? Name your favorite snack. I'm going to send you a bulk supply of it just for participating in the contest. And again, the reason why I'm doing the contest is for, to reward listener participation for the people that have been listening since day one, giving them the opportunity to get a free prize from me, and to attract new listeners to my platform so they can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and my platform can keep growing, and I can give away better prizes and give away more incentive to keep listening to me. So, hope you got it. That's it, and that's all. I just go over it briefly one more again before I head on to the main section of my podcast. To enter the Chew on This contest, hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. And in the subject bar, type Shopping While Black / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you. Type Shopping While Black, Chew on This / or dash, Shopping While Black, or SWB in all caps in the subject bar. Body of the email includes your most recent Shopping While Black experience, your mailing address so I know where to send your snack to, and then your favorite snack. Good? Got it? Cool. All right, now here we go. This is really the first authentic section of the Narrative Podcast. Those other two sections is basically like the warm-up before we get to the main content. So up first, this is the promotional or the highlight section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the purpose of me highlighting this section is to, get the listeners to patronize original people owned and operated businesses that do for their community. Because businesses that I highlight in this section are, business owners that hire their own. In many instances, it's a family-owned business, so it's like generational wealth type situation going on. Um, Also, they have like little to no educational background um, in whatever they're selling, little to no finances. Um, Basically, they started from the mud, believed in their gift, talent, ability, and just stepped out on faith, started a business. If they do have an educational background, it's not extensively in the field that they're currently in, about whatever their business is about, typically. And then also, they do some type of philanthropy, some type of activism. They give back to the community in some small capacity, whether it be like paying into a nonprofit organization or having their own nonprofit organization, giving back to this community some type of way. And then the last thing, it lines up with my theme. And my current theme is the season of fall. So, original people owned and operated, check. Hires their own, check. Provides opportunity, check. Gives back to the community, check. And then aligns up with my theme, check. So like all my checkpoints, or at least a good 2 or 3, is, what type of businesses that will appear in the highlight section. And again, the reason why I'm doing the highlight section is just to impress upon my listeners. I'm highlighting, showcasing entrepreneurialism that we can do for self, that we do like to do for self, that we hire our own, that we give back. Because again, the media only gives us negative frames of reference. We don't see and hear, a lot of entrepreneurs. We don't see and hear like examples of, how to make that transition from a 9-to-5 employee to owning your own business. We don't see and hear enough of that. But what we do see overly abundant is like, criminal activity, gang banging, breaking and entering, grand theft auto, drug trafficking. We have abundant examples of that, but we don't have abundant examples of, owning and operating your own business legitimately, and being successful and giving back to the community. So that's why I'm doing this section. All right. So, like I said, my theme is the season of fall. In fall, people kind of, if you live especially if you live in like a 4-season state, people kind of just really be chilling in the fall. They kind of like out less and less, staying at home more often as the weather is changing. And what better way to enjoy your alone time at home is than by reading a book. And so the next few businesses that I'll be highlighting today are original people owned and operated book publishing companies. So my first original people owned business is 310 Brown Street. And the proprietor's name is Christopher Michael Day. And you can go check them out at 310brownstreet.com. They also advertise on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And he specializes in publishing books by poets and spoken word artists. He has a YouTube commercial for his company. I couldn't really dig. I'd like to do super deep dives. As you know, all my regular listeners that I like to do a super deep dive into the proprietor's background so I can just put that example of starting from the bottom, not having the answers when you start out, and then any type of philanthropy that they're into and hiring their own. But unfortunately, I couldn't really find out anything about this gentleman. But why I decided to highlight that particular company, because that is most unusual, because there's not, out of all the book genres, there's not too much in ways in concern for poetry, and we have an abundant, supply of poets that need, correct representation in publishing. I'm one of them. So, there's not like a whole lot out there that poets can, get, like if they want to publish their work. So that's why I decided to do that particular company. But from the commercial I've seen, he is very passionate about publishing, artists, poets and spoken word artists, and he seems like he's kind of selective about the types of artists that he publishes. So I'll definitely be checking it out for my next project. But again, 310 Brown Street, proprietor's name, Christopher Michael Day. 310brownstreet.com, also advertised on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. So I'll give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for 310 Brown Street and Christopher Michael Day. All right, keeping it moving. Second one is Ghetto Heat Publishing. And the proprietor's name is David Hickson. He is born and raised in Harlem, New York. So see, when I can find an extensive background about him, I try to go into it. Graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology in 1998. Created Ghetto Heat on the 4th of July in '03. He originally wasn't going to. So he was like, he wore a whole lot of hats. So as I just read, he started out in fashion design. That was his main, financial draw, is to design clothing. He's designed for some major fashion labels. But he basically, I think he was going through something, and he started writing poetry as a form of therapy. And poetry is very therapeutic. I write poetry myself, so I know. So eventually, I guess one of his friends read some of his poetry and told him he needs to transform it into a book. Said he needs to get that published, and he followed up on the advice of the friend in '03 and published the first book, which is titled Ghetto Heat. That was the first book in the catalog. His own book called Ghetto Heat, and it's really just poems, basically like reality life, aka street life or whatever, indicative of urban dwelling, poems like reflective of that environment. This book series is really popular in men and women's correctional facilities. So you'll probably often see him in there. In men and women's correctional facilities, you might see him in juvenile correctional facilities. It's really popular around teenage girls as well. So they read his book series. Um, it's way more extensive than that. Just a second. I think I forgot to put in the notes like how to get a hold of it. So let me just punch that up right quick. Sorry about that, y'all. I usually have it. I think it's just Ghetto Books or GhettoEast.com, but he got, it's available on Amazon too. Where else does a brother advertise? I believe he advertises on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can go check his LinkedIn out also. David Hickson on LinkedIn, and you will see all his projects he has available. I'm just trying to give him like accurate plug. Yeah, I think it's just the other places that he advertises: Facebook, Twitter, and IG. Let me see. I see YouTube. So let me see what it says on YouTube. You got a Ghetto Heat YouTube channel.
Trials and tribulations of the inner city people of Ghetto America. Ghetto Heat, a Ghetto Heat production.
Got Ghetto Heat TV on YouTube. Let me see. Trying to go back and see if we got it link in here.
A book of poetry exploring the joys, the pains, the trials and tribulations of the inner.
No. Okay, it's just ghettoheat.com. That's his other link. It's ghettoheat.com. And then Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And then also, you can check out David Hickson's LinkedIn profile as well to see all of his projects. And on to my final business I'll be advertising today. So the last business I'll be highlighting, I say advertising, is Brown Girls Books. The proprietors' names are Rochelle Tate Billingsley and Victoria Murray. I think she has a different, I don't know, I think they're doing like the married names, like the Pinkett Smith thing, but Victoria Murray, I think she has a middle name. Let me check that out. Yeah, Victoria Christopher Murray, So Rochelle Tate Billingsley and Victoria Christopher Murray. And I'm saying the first, middle, and last name so you can get the right person when you pull them up. Because, if you just do that without the middle name too, like somebody not them will pop up, like somebody Caucasian will pop up. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but like I'm trying to promote their site, trying to circulate that original people dollar in the original people community. So I want to give accurate sources. Now, both of them, they have a very extensive background. Um, they've both written over 200 projects collectively. Um, they have both extensive literary background. So, you know, so you can go to Brown Girls Books, and I'm not going to do a deep dive into their background because they got a well detailed about section on the website. So go check that out at www.browngirls.com. They've also, written books that have gotten adapted into TV shows and movies. So they've been writing books for a very long time. So the philanthropy is like giving back, giving the opportunity for other young authors to, get their projects published on their publishing platform, to get them the exposure they need, to get them into the space that they need to be in to be, a well-published author. So they both wear a lot of hats and do a lot of good for the community and are very active, perform all kinds of philanthropy, perform all kinds of activism. So go check them out. Brown Girls Poetry, Rochelle Tate Billingsley and Victoria. Where's the middle name again? Victoria. If I forgot that quick. Oh. Victoria Christopher Murray, excuse me. And Brown Girls Books. So we're going to clap it up for him now and on to the next section. And then did I clap it up for the Ghetto Heat, Mr. David Hickson? I don't think I did, but clap it up for him too. In the Ghetto Heat series, the Ghetto Heat Publishing. And one more, just a brief little stop before I transition into the next section. Unless you've been living under a rock, we just lost an R&B legend, Miss Irene Cara. She just recently passed away. She's most her work that she's most known for is the theme song to Fame, and she also did some work on Flashdance. She got, her work expands to like 3 decades worth of work in the entertainment industry and the singing. She's been appearing in, movies, television, and plays, and she's also been doing in between concerts for all her old work, writing, producing, all that. So she is, a sister. Father was Black Puerto Rican. My mother was, I believe she was like Argentinian or something like that. But basically, she was a sister though, and she will be missed. She's a very talented woman, very beautiful, and gave us a whole lot. So we're going to give her a moment of silence for Irene Cara. All right. So my next section is the spotlight section. In this section, what I'm doing is spotlighting the accomplishments of a brother or sister. It's usually in the entertainment industry. So, you usually hear about me spotlighting an actor, an actress, recording artist, comedian, athlete, public figure, writer, producer, just basically anybody with a platform, anybody in the eye of the public, representing us well, either through, philanthropy, humanitarianism, or, some type of activism, giving back, definitely speaking on our condition unapologetically on any platform they're on, giving opportunity, hiring their own, and just being a stellar brother, stellar stand-up, solid brother or sister. These are the types of people I highlight in the highlight section, aka give them their flowers. And then something I always say until somebody disproves me, because now I'm like on my way to 200 episodes. You can go into my episode log, and you'll notice, like I noticed, that nobody on the internet was spotlighting anyone until Halsey Allen put a spotlight section on his podcast. So, imitation is the best form of flattery. I'm flattered that so many people took notice to that and, took and ran with that. So my ultimate takeaway from adding that section is basically to, do my part to encourage us to say nice things about each other, to celebrate our accomplishments and just, empower ourselves, not always just putting each other down, talking bad about each other and dragging each other through the mud online. You can say something nice about somebody. It ain't corny. Like, you see how sick we've become, how ingrained it's become into us. Like, it's corny to say something nice about somebody. You say something nice about another male. Oh, you D-riding, you on his NUTS. You know what I'm saying? Like, when? How is that corny to say something nice about somebody? But I digress. That's what the spotlight section is just basically bigging up and saluting a person for all their life accomplishments and giving them their flowers and just dues, while they're still here. Definitely for trailblazing and impacting the culture. So, without any further ado, this week's spotlight comes to, or a spotlight, I guess I'm shining the spotlight on a one Miss, very legendary, very incomparable, very charismatic, electrifying, exhilarating one Miss Shaka Khan, born Yvette Marie Stevens on March 23rd, 1953, in the hometown of Chicago, Illinois, in the Hyde Park area on the south side, Hyde Park projects on the south side of Chicago. She attended a whole lot of high schools. I'm not going to go down everything in her list. I'm just going to, I'm going to keep it brief and to the point because, she has a very extensive background. I'm just going to bullet the points that's like super important. One-time member of the Black Panther Party chapter in Chicago, Illinois. Um, Famously knew Fred Hampton, um, you know, and she just transcends history. She's always used her platform, always sounded off for the cause. Even her stage name is indicative of the struggle. She got that name from, somebody with an indigenous background gave her that name. It's like a really long name. I'm not going to go and embarrass myself by trying to pronounce it, but I think she just ended up shortening it to just Shaka Khan. One of the most impactful moments was just recently. She had did a cover shoot with her and a comedian Lunel in wake of George Floyd's tragic public lynching a few years ago. They was both in army fatigues and they was throwing up that black fist, original woman fist, excuse me. I try to insert original as often as possible on this platform. But definitely a woman for all ages. She lives up to one of her songs, I Am Every Woman. She definitely is. We've seen every side of Shaka all through the different time periods. We've seen, sexy, saucy Shaka. We've seen educated Shaka. We've seen, reserved Shaka. She's just a woman for all seasons. Definitely example of femininity in the female form. An artist through and through. She plays acoustic instruments. She can shred on the drums as well as sing. Just we don't even know like how fortunate we are to have her as an artist amongst us. Like I said, she has Black Panther roots, so she played a big role in the movement. She is an activist. She's always speaking on her cause. She definitely is good with the youth. Earlier in her career in the early 80s, she was all over the Breaking soundtrack. That was the kind of main theme for it. So she had the young people, break dancing, popping and locking to her music. So she got that youthful, she's always forever going to have that youthful connection and that youthful spark to her. So she's always going to be submerged in the fountain of youth artistically. And, there's just not too many other artists like that in any time period that's just so bold and brazen and, just loses their self in their art form without losing their self, if that makes any sense. But definitely we are fortunate to have Miss Shaka Khan. She's like above and beyond a whole lot than just she just transcends artisanship. She's more than just a singer. She's an activist as well. Definitely an inspiration. I wouldn't go as far as to call her a role model. I know celebrities don't like to be called role models, but she definitely is a inspiration to young women everywhere. So like, what can I say? Miss Shaka Khan. Give it a warm narrative round of applause for Mrs. Shaka Khan. All right, on to my next section. This section is called the health and wellness section, and the purpose of this section is basically to give out, to promote the healthy, active, fit lifestyle for my brothers and sisters. Like, wellness is a total body thing. It's not just putting clean things in your body. It's also putting healthy thoughts in your mind, creating healthy habits. So that's what you have to look forward to in this section. I'm really just pushing total body wellness. The reason I'm pushing total body wellness is because, we are the most at risk for all these man-made diseases. So basically, we have to stay armored up. And what I do in this section is I give health and wellness tips to help us stay armored up. Because they're putting all kinds of things in the air, in the food, in our water, in our cleaning supplies, in our, personal hygiene products that basically deteriorate, rearrange, and break down and destroy our unique cellular structure, specifically our melanin. That's pretty much the core of who we are. So, like, if it's rearranged or deteriorated, then what are we? We're what they want us to be, nothing. So it's up to us to stay healthy, active, and fit, because the powers that be are trying to get us out of here by any means possible. They're bombarding us with all this negativity online, all this stuff in this television programming, keyword programming. All these audio bites, sound bites, all that wreaks havoc on the psyche, and it also weakens your immune system. And once your immune system is weakened, so you'll fall privy to all these little airborne pathogens and all these little nasty things they got for you. So basically, you have to, stay armored up. You have to put clean things into your body. You have to think healthy thoughts, put clean things into your mind. It's not about being perfect or holier than thou. It's about staying alive. So, in this section, if it's, something for your body, it's usually, I'm offering the health benefits of a fruits, vegetable, herb, elixir, something that you ingest, either solid or liquid, that'll help you with your health. Things you put in your mind, like mindful breathing, mindfulness, metaphysical stuff, meditation techniques, yoga, breathing, just the whole body wellness experience is what I'm trying to project in this section. So, without any further ado, I'm going to talk about the health benefits of collard greens. So, like we just got through with Thanksgiving dinner, and I know some of y'all still got a gang of collard greens in y'all's refrigerator right now, and then you're gonna have collard greens again on Christmas, and then collard greens again on Easter. But you don't have to just wait Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving to enjoy collard greens. You can eat it all year round. Really, any green leafy vegetable all year round. And you don't have to throw in a dead animal to flavor it. You don't have to put smoked turkey or beef neck, pork neck, or fat back pig ears, and none of that in your collard greens to enjoy them. You can eat them like a salad. Okay? You can braise your collard greens, just like a little grapeseed oil, little EVE, extra virgin olive oil in a pan, just lightly saute, maybe some vegetable stock, red onion, some portobellos up in there, you dig? Lightly seasoned, some dry herbs, It's flavored up really nice. It'll be nice, tender, and succulent, delicious. That's what I had. With no dead animals in it, and it was slaps. You heard? So, health benefits from 4 collard greens. They're rich in vitamins A and K, B6, C, calcium and iron, and magnesium. They help destroy free radicals. So being green leafy vegetable in men, they help with your vitality, help things keep your testosterone up. Good for your hair, skin, and nails. Also good for gut health. They're going to help clean you out. And that's what most diseases are from, is by not having adequate bowel movements. All that, whatever you eat is caked up on the, all that fecal matter and fecal plaque get caked up on the inside of your stomach lining and, up inside your digestive tract. And so you got to stay regular. Because when you're all blocked up, you get, flu-like symptoms. You start having bad skin, foul-smelling breath, eye boogers, and all types of inflammation and swelling all in your body. So that's why it's important to stay in good gut health. Collard greens does this. Not so much the green leafy substance itself, but it's like the rib. The fibrous rib in it is undigestible, so it just pass through your digestive system, and when it passes through, it's going to take all that gunk and all that undigested solid waste that you got inside your stomach with it. It also helps build your immune system, fortifies your immune system. I already said it helps lower your blood pressure, provided that you don't throw a ton of salt in it. So, got to lay off of that soft pork and smoked turkey and smoked beef in the collard greens. Start programming, conditioning yourself to eat it like a salad, or lightly braise it in the skillet. Good for your hair, skin, and nails. Loads of vitamins and minerals. It's a very sustainable food source. It's very easy to grow. So you can really just save the ends, and you can, if you don't own your own property, you can grow collard greens inside. It'll also, apply it topically, like when the elders, them old remedies, them home remedies, they actually work. They will actually draw that infection up out of you. Like if you got inflammation anywhere in your body, they help with, the colic and the, swollen lymph nodes and all that. Some tribes, in some indigenous regions of the world, they use collard greens to soak their newborn babies in, to help with all that afterbirth and inflammation or impurities that they have in the body. So collard greens is definitely good. Rich in magnesium, rich in phosphates, rich in iron. You need iron. Helps, with your bone structure. Helps prevent osteoporosis, however you say it, the brittle bones. I got tongue-tied, but you knew what I was trying to say. Osteoporosis. and I'm probably still saying it wrong, but you know what it is. But it helps with combat brittle bones. It's rich in fiber, so collard greens is very filling. You don't need to just eat bowl after bowl. So yeah, it's an antioxidant as well to help burn fat. It's very versatile, very good for you. You can use it topically, like I said, as well, for inflammation anywhere you got in your body, especially like, swelling in your throat. Feet, they help, it's antifungal as well. Pretty much all green leafy vegetables are antiviral and antifungal. The darker the green, the more potent it is. So, it definitely behooves you to have collard greens or any green leafy vegetable in your diet. But the focus was on the collard green today because you got plenty of it in your fridge. So go ahead and knock it out. Don't let it get spoiled. Try to create the healthy habit of not flavoring it with a dead carcass. And you can just use dry herbs and a little bit of seasoning and it do just fine. But old habits are hard to break, but it'll behoove you. The more like naturally you eat it, the more natural benefits it'll have on your body. So the less additives and preservatives you put with it, you'll be rewarded for it. You will see it. You have a nice, healthy, glossy sheen to your skin, luxurious set of hair. It'll help with all them abrasions and skin abnormalities. No acne, no blotchy skin and all that. So go ahead on and get yourself some collard greens in your life. All right. Now my next section is my speaking point of the day. My speaking point of the day is usually just any current things going on and I'm saying usually, I'm hinting at something, but it's usually like what's currently going on in the news. I unpack it from our perspective. Anything pertaining to specifically our community, I unpack it. Basically, what I do in this section is I control the narrative because, if you don't control the narrative, the media have us looking and sounding crazy. So I unpack, current events from our perspective. Usually. Sometimes I don't have a speaking point at all, and I just make a witty observation about, things that we need to work on as a people when on the instances that I don't have a topic to talk about. So I kept on saying usually. So I'm kind of switch it up today. I wanted to give my synopsis on Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. I meant to do it on a live, and I just didn't get around to it. I had it in the notes. I caught it like last week. And I don't know, just something. I try to, like I said, I try to keep my broadcast like really short and to the point. And I think I was well over my time limit that I set for myself. And so I just didn't make it to that section. But I'm going to go ahead on and give my synopsis for Black Panther. And I try to not have any spoiler alerts for the people that have not gone out and seen the movie. So first of all, I'm going to start off positive. The acting was stellar. Everybody did a bang up job acting. The characters that they were portraying, I believed it. Even in that fictional world, it just totally enthralled and pulled you into the storyline. They did an outstanding job, each and every actor and actress in that movie. Um, One actress I was shocked to see in it because she hasn't really, I haven't really, except for that one TV show she had with like Wanda Sykes, I haven't really seen her interact, with original people. I haven't seen her in films or projects with original people. I don't think it's by design. I just think she didn't have the opportunity, no opportunities presented herself with self, to interact with people, our people. But Julia Dreyfus was in it. She had a role in there. Um, yeah, that was a shocker. I didn't expect for her to be in a movie like that. But like I said, everybody did a stellar job acting. Um, Special effects was on par, up to point, really futuristic. Um, Amazing color schemes, uh, costumes out of this world, phenomenal. Action sequence was all that. It was just action packed from almost to the beginning to the end. And, you know, it was a really good film for the most part. I just really didn't have, I got a low tolerance for having my intelligence insulted. And I saw some undertones in there I found really insulting to me. And I think many of my people saw them as well. That's why it's not doing so good at the box office. Because first of all, they strayed away from the plot, the original plot, to pander to a specific audience. And the two audiences that they're pandering to is the feminist movement in the LGBTQ. It's just really has some really stifling undertones of that. It's not blatant, but the undertones is definitely there, and it's kind of sickening. It's sickening in the sense that they're trying to even sneak it in when the script is so phenomenal, it doesn't even call for it. Now, traditionally, I know you can't when you do the comic book adaptations. It's very rare that they ever go like, with the comics. So they introduced a character, the Submariner, into this Wakanda 2. Submariner, his real name is Prince Namor, but in the comics books he was Submariner. Some people call him Namor in the comic books as well. They gave him an indigenous, in this adaptation, they gave him an indigenous Mayan ancestry for the lost city of Atlantis. Try not to give away too much of the movie plot, but so they made basically Namor Mayan. And far as our people, like I started off saying, we are the original man and the original woman. I know you can see the parallels between the Mayan culture and our culture, the headdresses, the jewelry, like the statues, all their statues have African features. Mayan culture even have pyramids. So like, stop it. But not stop it, but if you don't see the parallel that connects like the lineage, the African lineage in Mayan culture, I don't know, you must be like just choosing to be blind. But It's a lot of brothers in the you know, in that part of the world, they just refuse to see it. There are some in the Mayan culture that see and denotes and acknowledge the African influence in their culture. In South America, but many of them do not. So, like, that's really my only issue I really had with, uh, the film is very, the subtle undertones of that, the feminism and, the LGBTQ agenda in that movie portrayed. It's like it's not coming out blatantly saying it, but you can see them attempting to try to thrust certain characters together, trying to make them have friction, like same-sex friction. But I will say, there was a little friction I kind of saw. I saw Winston Duke's character on Baku trying to, like, it seemed to me like he was trying to put his bid in with I can't pronounce the sister's name, but her character, the main character, Shuri. I just refer to her as her character. I'm gonna learn how to pronounce her name, but I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I'm gonna just say Shuri because I'm pretty sure everybody calls her Shuri now anyway. It seemed like he was trying to holler at that. That's what I'm trying to get at. His character was trying to holler at that. But other than that, it was like, a whole bunch of like undertones for, the LGBTQ and the feminist movement. Like they ODing on the feminism. It's like our sisters that do not like being called strong black women, and this like film is indicative, like they're trying to. So like if you go back a few episodes ago, a few lives ago, I said in my own words. So I was like, when I was doing my breakdown of The Woman King, I said I was anticipating, Panther 2. I said, you can go back in my episode log. I said, if they turn this into the Shuri movie, that franchise is in trouble. And lo and behold, they done turned it into the Shuri movie. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, see, something I always say on my platform is our superpower as original men and original women is the unification of us, of our gender. It's like we both play off each other. We both augment each other's natural abilities. And that's why, the first film was so successful, because you had Chadwick Boseman in it, and he was a heterosexual black man who, for the most part, was an alpha. He had some wishy-washy moments. His character, R.I.P. Chadwick, his character had some wishy-washy moments, but, he was defending Wakanda. He was a heterosexual man, taking care of business, taking the helm. At the same time, he was walking in stride with his women. He wasn't trying to dominate them. He wasn't trying to, subjugate his women. His women was like right beside, he had mama and baby sis, and, the captain of his elite guard was a female. So, that's our superpower, is us together. And the point where I'm going with that is they had plenty of time to find a replacement to T'Challa. Because like in the comic books, T'Challa and Namor were like adversaries. So this plot didn't make sense for it T'Challa not to be there. So I'm gonna just tell you the synopsis without trying to give away, spoiler alerts. But Obviously, Chadwick Boseman, he passed away. So the plot of this movie is he passes away, Black Panther. If you remember the first movie, they have this medicinal herb that gives each Black Panther, their superpowers. They got to take this little herb, and it gives them the power of the Black Panther, and then they strip the herb away when another tribe challenges, them for the throne of Wakanda, like who wants to lead that region. And they strip the power away to make it a nice fair fight, because you can't be having all these, superpowers, and the other people don't have no superpowers. So with this movie, like, this is basically like the next day two after, Killmonger, he destroyed all the herbs. And Black Panther gets sick and he needs the herb to heal him, but there's no herb because Killmonger destroyed all the herbs that gives him the power, so he couldn't fight off whatever infection was like invading his body. So his sister Shuri tries to make a synthetic version of it using technology and whatnot. So like I said, I think they deviated from the plot. They didn't go out and find a suitable, and there's many suitable people out there that could have been Prince T'Challa. Like there's so many gifted African actors that could have did the role, because quite honestly, before Chadwick Boseman's passing, he was publicly telling everybody he was tired of playing Black Panther. I think the SNL skit, had he not passed, would have probably been the last time we seen him as T'Challa. Like they would have had to throw some crazy ducats to make him do a sequel, because he was all the way over it before he passed. So I don't think had he been alive, he would have reprised the role anyway. So they would have had to get another T'Challa. But again, I think the reason why they didn't have a replacement for him, because they was trying to push that agenda of this, this feminist movement type stuff. And nothing against the feminist movement, but there's division in the feminist movement, because the feminists never come out when our sisters is threatened, a woman is threatened. They don't never come out for the Sandra Blands. They don't never come out for the Breonna Taylors. They only come out what they come out for, But again, like, that's just what I personally feel, that the movie's like doing a bad job at just making our sisters seem overly like ODing on the heroism, excuse me. Like, a heroine is like a female hero. They're just like ODing on that image, and our sisters don't need that image, because that image of the strong Black women gets them physically harmed. Like, I'm tired of seeing our sisters getting beat up by these Asian shopkeepers and these barbacks, these bouncers in these bars, sitting up there beating them like they're men to get them out the club, because they got this little black cloud of being a strong woman. Like, you can defend yourself against a man. That strong Black women also, aids in separating the original man from the original woman. This is like, people outside of our culture can come in and do what they want to our women, because we're separated by money, by politics, by upbringing, religion. Got so many things separating us now, but our unique power is when we come together. Because like to see two of us like truly in love, that's something to behold. Like a man, an original man can never come into his full his full purpose in life till we got a strong original woman at his side. And the same thing goes for an original woman till she got a strong original man by her side. Can she walk into her full purpose? And so with this movie, it's kind of like blurring that line, and that's why it's not being successful as the first one. That's what's missing. It ain't the budget, it ain't the special effects, it's the lack of the man. This movie needed a male Black Panther, and there wasn't none, and they had plenty of time to go recruit another Black Panther that would have did just as good a job as Chadwick, or possibly better job than Chadwick as Black Panther, because that franchise calls for it. It calls for the Prince of Wakanda for it to be successful. So the only thing really is saving the franchise, I guess they're doing like a prequel on I think it's like Hulu or Netflix. Got the first. It's going to be a series about the very first king of Wakanda. So, I know the sister. She's going to get all kinds of Shuri kickback. She's probably going to get another animated cartoon and all this Shuri merch. So happy and excited for her. But again, with the franchise, it called for a male T'Challa. It called for a prince of Wakanda. And that's what, we wanted to see. That's why the first one was so successful. Did you see people coming out in the full African garb when it dropped in the first week? No. Did you see and hear people talking about they seen and went and seen the movie 10 and 20 times? No. Why? Because that crucial element was not there. Not because the script was whack, not because, the special effects wasn't on point, not because the acting wasn't on point, because that one crucial element, the man, was not there. And that was the driving point of the original movie, was, Prince T'Challa coming into his manhood. Key word, man. So that's all, just we didn't see enough female femininity, enough female vulnerability. We need to see more accurate depictions of the original man and the original woman's love on film. Like, how we love each other on film. We need better visual representations of that. But other than that, it was an all-around good film. I'm not sad I went to go see it. Like I said, the acting was phenomenal. They had everything. They had action. They had suspense. They had drama. They didn't have no romance, thank goodness, because they was pushing that, agenda. And like Disney celebrities have come forward to speak out against the agendas that they push. Zendaya is one of them. She had a sitcom that she did for Disney, that she was on board for Disney. I forget the name of it right now. I'll probably correct it in my next podcast feed. But, she wasn't on board with it because they tried to make her parents for that sitcom Caucasian. And she said, no, I want Black parents. So, it's that or nothing. Give me Black parents or nothing. And so they accommodated her request, but the simple fact they tried to push an agenda. Another Disney actor who kind of shocked me by standing up to Disney the way they push agendas is Raven-Symoné. And I say shocked because I wasn't really feeling her view during her stint on The View, the things she was saying about our people and our culture on that platform. But she's recently gone on to speak out against Disney for the agendas they try to push, because as everybody knows, she is openly homosexual, gay, whatever the correct, politically correct terminology for it is, no shade, to each their own. But she said, her character, Raven Baxter, they wanted to turn her gay just because she was gay in real life. And to her, she said artistically that didn't make any sense because the character was like basically boy crazy and had, they children. So how do you go from a boy crazy chick that has children to being homosexual? That didn't even make sense to her. So like that's them pushing the agenda. And she stood up for it, and she's doing a pretty good job because I've seen like a whole lot of episodes of the new Raven series where, it's kind of they're focusing the lens on the male character, her son coming of age. They did the one where he had the, running with the police officer, and then they had another one where he's just experiencing growing pains as an original man growing up, and her taking her time with him and understanding him, you know what I mean? So she's doing a good job in that respect. I wasn't feeling her comments when she was on The View for the stuff that she said when she was on The View, but it seems since then that she's, learned from that and, trying to grow and trying to be more conscious of what she says and how she says it. But anyway, that's it for my speaking point. Wakanda Forever, great film. It just missed a man's presence in it. I felt it could have been even more spectacular with a T'Challa. They shouldn't have killed that character off. They should have just replaced him because, Chadwick was already not kind of feeling it before he passed. I don't think he would have been on board for a sequel. All right, y'all, this is my final section of the Narrative Podcast. And in this section, it's called My Final Thought. And my final thought is just my final thought of the day. It's usually something profound, a gem, a pearl of wisdom, something to inspire critical thinking, something to just have you say, I never thought about it like that. Something that just stay with you and resonate with you. And then after that, I just end my podcast and, have you have something to look forward to next time. So, all right. My final thought of the day is, we should be kind to one another all year round. Because we are the most abused, overlooked people on this planet. Like everybody does us dirty. We need to be kind to each other all year round, not just on Christmas, not just on Thanksgiving, not just on Easter. We need to be kind to each other all year round. You need to try to help your brother, help your less fortunate brother, help your less fortunate sister, any way you can all year round. I saw two really gut-wrenching stories that just really got me all choked up and made me think like how fortunate I am to have the things that I have. I'm not wealthy, I'm not a millionaire, but I know I'm fortunate. And when I tell you I seen these two stories that just almost had me burst out in the tears. Did have me crying. I ain't gonna lie. I was just straight up crying hearing these brothers speak. One story, his brother was online. He's a homeless man. He said he got beat down at a Popeyes. I forget which state, but Popeyes. Somebody shared it online. It came up in my Facebook feed, and he said he went to go pay for his stuff. He ate and then went to the bathroom, used the bathroom, fell asleep. I was like, what's he doing back there? Like, he fell asleep on the toilet. Like, so, they was like, hey, you got to get up out of here, woo, woo, woo. So he washed his hands and stuff, he said he got himself together, wiped up, washed up, came to the counter to get a refill, because you can get a refill at Popeyes if you order a meal. Like everybody knows, I don't eat meat, but from when I remember the Popeyes experience. Like, you can go get a refill of your beverage. So he went to go get a refill. There's like, no, you got to get out of here. He said, the person behind the counter was a sister. She said she was the one that put the energy of, him needing to get out of the facility, not having no compassion for him, not having no patience with him and no compassion for him. She was the loudest person in the facility. She wasn't even a manager. She was just like a crew worker. And he said he just asked for the refill. They ejected him out the facility. He said he didn't resist. He didn't try to stay. He left. And so he leaving out the restaurant, and they attacked him. They hit him with a chair, wrestled him to the ground, and was just beating the heck out of him with a folding chair. And that's sad, y'all. And the thing that started making me cry is he said it was all black Popeyes. Like all the staff, all the employees was black. And that's us around this time of year to a less fortunate person. That's our energy for our brother, for our homeless brother, our homeless sister. We attack them. We try to do them irreparable harm. We try to accost them physically just simply by not having the means to sustain themselves. That's where we got to as a people, that we don't have any compassion for one another, that we done lost that ability to empathize with somebody less fortunate, with our brother and our own sister that's less fortunate. In our culture, the first thing we want to say is we're going to call them trifling. Knowing what we know about this system, knowing what we know about how this system is designed for us not to succeed, for us not to get ahead. Because somebody trips and falls and loses their way and not able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, them being kicked down so many times they can't get up, and then you're going to stomp on them too? Another one was this brother. This one's viral. I think they play it every time. I think it came out 2001, 2002, but now it goes viral every time around this year. A homeless man, he was just telling his accounts of being homeless, and then the tearjerker was at the end of it. When he got, telling them how it is to be homeless and how it is to be disenfranchised. He says, the worst part of my day is when I'm just riding public transportation. I'm trying to keep warm. And when I get off, I sit up there and I watch everybody. I know they're going home. They got a home to go to. I don't. And man, I'm telling you, after you said that, shit, I was crying big crocodile tears. So my point is, we got to learn how to be more tolerant of one another, especially our unfortunate brothers and sisters. And not just on the holidays, like every single day of the week. If you got a couple dollars to give somebody, give them a couple dollars. Like, don't let nobody take advantage of you, understand? But also understand, like, it's not yours after you release it from your hands. It's not for you to judge, to like wonder if they're going to buy drugs or wonder if they're going to, buy some alcohol. If they hit you up and you got a couple of dollars, give them a couple of dollars. If you're so worried about them getting something to eat, give them a couple of dollars and then go get them something to eat as well. But we got to stop being so critical of one another in that situation, because the truth of the matter is it could happen to any one of us. And all our brothers and sisters that are big, successful entrepreneurs, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It can happen to you at any given time, because, through their journey, having millions and millions of dollars, it was a time where they lost everything, was sleeping in their car, was up 1 minute, they had millions of dollars, thousands, and they put their money in something and then lost everything. And then they're sleeping in their car or begging a relative to sleep on their couch, the next week. So we can all be in that situation. So don't ever, ever, ever look down your nose at somebody in that situation, because it can be you in a heartbeat, especially with this system, especially the way they regard us as human beings, especially after everything they've done to us and are continuing to do to us. So don't ever get so uppity that you call a disenfranchised brother or sister trifling because they don't have sufficient means, and you do. Especially around this time of year. So that's all I want to say with that section is we need to do a better job at being compassionate to one another and loving one another and understanding one another, because it can be like literally us in that same position. Well, I'm ended here. This has been another broadcast of the Narrative Podcast. Thank you for listening. To support my platform, please download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Also, support my poetry blog, Halsey's Poetry Corner, at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. My tagline there is Poetry with a Passion, Poetry for All Occasions. It's beautiful, insightful poetry. I write it in the spur of the moment. I don't premeditate anything I'm writing. It's just like from my mind to the screen. It's just really organic and creative. The way you support that is, go to that site, www.mrhalseysblog.com, and share any one of my poems on that blog from Halsey's Poetry Corner to any of your platforms, to your Facebook, to your Twitter, to your YouTube, to your TikTok, to your WordPress, whatever you got, your Squarespace, your Wix, your whatever, share, Halsey's Poetry Corner poem to whatever your preferred platform. To your Instagram, to your Reddit, whatever. And also, please pick up your copy of a book of poetry I've written. I've titled it The Black Card. It's exclusively on Poetizer. It's in their library, so go to Poetizer and go to the Poetizer library and pick up a copy of The Black Card by me, Halsey Allen. It's 30 poems, really creative poems about, I don't say the struggle because I believe in the power of the words. I say the condition. Basically, like it's the cookout book. It's your guide to our culture. It's really creative, really witty. Collection of poetry. It's 30 of them. It's a few blank pages in there. But, keep in mind, this is my first book I published. But go support the movement. Go purchase that book, as many copies of it that you can or want to. Buy a couple copies. Give a book to somebody else. Make a great coffee book table. It's sleek design. It's very portable. Ladies, you can put it inside your pocketbook. Fellas, you can, if you do the man bag, you can put it in the man bag. But go definitely pick you up a copy of The Black Card in the Poetizer library. Also, I randomly go live here on the Narrative Podcast. So to avoid missing a random broadcast, you want to follow me on YouTube, my viewer channel, Halsey Allen. Go subscribe to that channel, hit your notification bell. That way you will never miss me when I'm live. Because when I'm live, I transmit directly to my YouTube channel, and I also transmit directly to my Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out how to transmit directly to my Instagram, but I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't do that, but it transmits directly to YouTube and Twitter when I'm live. So you can also follow me on Twitter, Halsey Allen on Twitter. And you will see all my live content from the Narrative Podcast on the days that I'm live. They're random lives. I never know what day that I'm going to go live. But like I said, subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Twitter so you don't miss a live episode of the Narrative Podcast. Well, I think I plugged all my projects. That's all I got for you this week. Join me again this week or next weekend for another full broadcast of the Narrative Podcast, and tune in regularly so you don't miss a random live edition of the Narrative Podcast. Well, that's it and that's all. Y'all enjoy them holiday leftovers. Enjoy me again this weekend for another full broadcast of the Narrative Podcast. Peace, love, light, healing. Love up on each other, family. This has been the Narrative Podcast. Halsey Allen signing off. And it's like that.
Set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, add a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.